Welcome to Medill Sports Talk, where we break down the news this week for the sports you love. Hello and welcome into our Chicago studios here at Medill Sports Talk. Today I'm joined by Robbie Weinstein and Patrick Engel, and we are more than ready to get into everything that you want to know for NCAA Bracket Talk. It's officially March Madness, and that comes with this time every year with the NCAA brackets are out. Some are busted. Some of you can sit back and say, I called it. I told you they were going to win. Let's start with the upsets, because that's what everybody's got everybody talking. So with the local team, I'm start on this side, with the local team with Loyola beating Miami, that upset, did you have that one? Did you call it? What were your thoughts on it?
I had that one, and I really wasn't surprised by it at all. This was one of those 6-11s that you see every year. Miami only about a 1.5 favorite coming into it, and I can understand exactly why. They haven't been playing good defense at all since Bruce Brown, best player, NBA prospect, got hurt and hasn't played in a little while now. And Loyola, just a pretty efficient team on offense overall, really good at getting open threes, spreads the ball around, and plays pretty good defense without fouling. So considering some of the defensive issues Miami's had a little bit toward the end of the season, I thought this would be a little higher scoring. And Loyola actually trailed for a lot of the second half, but got some open threes, timely threes that were able to keep it in. And of course, that miracle ending there with missed free throw and pushing up the court right at the buzzer and getting Dante Ingram a deep three, but an open three that he can hit pretty well. Best three-point shooter, made the most threes on the team this year. So if you're going to have somebody try to hit that shot for Loyola, they got the right guy.
And those threes were definitely one of the big reasons why the number 4 seeded Arizona Wildcats, they go down to the Buffalo Bulls, I think it was 89-68, putting a beat down on number 4 seed. What was your take on that?
Well, in some ways, Nick, I was surprised, but in other ways, I wasn't surprised. Surprised maybe at the score, the 21-point spread, but Arizona has been up and down all year. 15 for 30 from 3 for Buffalo, and Arizona's been a bad three-point shooting defense this year. They've given up threes all over the place. They've also lost to some bad teams, teams that weren't in the NCAA Tournament, Oregon, SMU, just to name 2 of them. And so Wes Clark getting 25 points, the Missouri transfer for Buffalo, that's not too much of a surprise. But I definitely did not expect this type of 20-point beatdown. DeAndre Ayton getting only 13 shots. You would expect a guy with his chiseled 7'1", 260-pound frame to be able to dominate against a 13 seed like Buffalo out of the MAC. So I was a little bit surprised by the result, but I was really surprised, Nick, by the 21-point spread there.
Yeah, that was something that I think shocked all of us. And then one of the ones that, for me personally, being a U of A graduate, having that be my alma mater, that hurt a little bit to the core.
I bet.
Definitely put my heart at a little bit of rhythm that it wasn't used to. Knowing that this is going to happen again to me, where can I expect another upset to come from?
I think another upset to look at is in the West region, and that would be between the round of 32 game between Michigan and Houston. Michigan is the 3 seed there, and Houston is the 6 seed. And a lot of people, after Michigan won the Big Ten tournament, 4 straight games in New York City, a lot of people are picking them to go deep, Elite 8, Final 4. Who knows? That's seen as kind of a weak region. I think Houston, along with Rob Gray, who had 39 points for them in their win against San Diego State in the first round, has a really good chance to pull the upset there, in part because Michigan is a really bad offensive rebounding team. They don't draw a lot of fouls, and Houston, that's their main defensive weakness, is they foul a lot. Michigan, I don't think, is going to be able to take advantage of it, and I see the Cougars moving on to the Sweet 16.
Very bold, very bold. I like that prediction. He says UM's going down. Do you have another one that I need to know about, everybody needs to know about, so that we don't get completely shocked when it happens?
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of these first-round Friday matchups in New Mexico State over Clemson. New Mexico State, first year under head coach Chris Jans, out of the WAC. And I'm looking at Clemson here as a vulnerable 5-seed upset, one of those teams that's seeded correctly when you look at the resume, but hasn't quite been the same since Dante Grantham got hurt and is out for the year with an ACL tear. Their offense hasn't been quite as powerful, although they've managed to be able to score enough to be able to get some wins. But best overall player, good three-point shooter, they've missed a lot. 2 pretty good defensive teams here, but I'm going to go with New Mexico State's and their three-point shooting ability to outscore Clemson there, even against a pretty good Clemson defense, and move on with what would likely be a round of 32 matchup with Auburn.
Well, let's pivot into the second round, because that's what got everybody looking forward to. In that second round, which games are you looking for that you say, okay, I got to sit down and watch this one?
Yeah, I'm going to go with one of these 1-8 games, and that's Kansas against Seton Hall. Mainly the intrigue here is a Kansas center, Udoka Azubuike, not quite back from that knee injury he had that kind of kept him in limited minutes in the Big 12 tournament, missed a couple of games there. And Bigger problem against Seton Hall with Angel Delgado, double-double machine, averaging a double-double this year. So we'll see just how well Kansas is able to rebound. Already kind of just an okay offensive rebounding team without their best rebounder, and how they're able to operate in the post without Azubuike, who does all of his work really around the rim on dunks, pick and rolls, and scoring with his back to the basket. And Delgado, of course, that's where he's best. So we'll see what Kansas can do with that. Probably play a lot more Mitch Lightfoot, who's a good shot blocker, but gives up a lot of weight against a guy like Delgado. Seton Hall, a good enough three-point shooting team where I think they could be able to keep pace with Kansas' three-point shooters, especially Devontae Graham, Svi Mikhailuk. So not sure that Seton Hall is going to be able to pull that one out, but definitely one I think is close with depending on how Azubuike feels there.
It's a good matchups all the way around. And Kansas being one of those teams that everybody thinks may have a chance to win it all this year. Do you have another matchup in the second round we're looking forward to?
I do, and it also involves a Big 12 team. I'm going to another 3-6 matchup, Texas Tech and Florida. I really like Keenan Evans for Texas Tech. He's a dynamic point guard for them. I usually think Florida is playing a little bit better right now, the 6th seed. They blew out St. Bonaventure in their round of 64 game. Texas Tech struggled with 14 seed Stephen F. Austin. I do think something that helps Texas Tech here is that the game is being played in Dallas. So regardless, I think this game could go either way, but I do see the winner going all the way to the Elite Eight and upsetting Purdue in the next round.
That upset would be huge. And with Arizona out and other teams looking like they can go down as well, let's do an early prediction. Way too early prediction for who would be your Final Four. Robbie, who you got?
Well, my Final Four is to start UVA. I've also got Gonzaga. That's kind of my wild card there. I've got Villanova and I've got Duke. And so I think, UVA maybe is the biggest question mark there because DeAndre Hunter did just go down with that wrist injury and he's not going to play in the tournament. He was one of the best bench players in the country this year and a key piece for UVA. But those are my four, and I feel decent about them, as decent as you can in a crazy tournament like this.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it's not bad. You beat that at all? You think you got him?
Actually, I think we've got the same teams here.
Oh,
and
man.
I know the DeAndre Hunter injury isn't going to, it's not a good look, but I still like Virginia against everybody in that region. Hunter, I think, would hurt him a little bit more on offense because of the offensive skill he brings both as a perimeter player and a face-up scorer. But still think to be able to play defense and lock down everybody in that region. Duke, now that they finally play defense, they figured that out. I think they'll be able to get past Michigan State there. Villanova, offensively, that'll carry them. Some questions about their defense, but I think that'll at least get them to the Final Four there.
Those defenses will definitely have to come up. As we all know, defenses with championships. So let's have a little bit of fun, as if we weren't already. If you had one school in the tourney that's not your alma mater, which you would be going to, and decide, you know what, Mom and Dad, I'm going to go to this school as well. You could reverse time, take back the clock a little bit, and go to a different school that's in the tourney right now. Who would it be and why? I'll start with you.
Loyola. Grew up 10 minutes away, went to Jesuit high school. As they say, Jesuit. Got to go with Loyola.
Jesuit.
Went to grade school across the street from Loyola. So,
okay.
Got to go Loyola.
All right, he's got Loyola. Who you got?
We had a little bit of groupthink on the last one with the Final Four teams. I think this time we're going to differ a little bit. Woo, Pig Suey, Arkansas Razorbacks.
Okay.
That's what I choose. I love Fayetteville. Dixon Street is a lot of fun. I really enjoy, although the men's basketball team maybe is what they're most known for, the baseball team is really fun. I made a trip over there in last April and enjoyed going to see a game at Baum Stadium. You go and sit in the outfield grass and grill up some hot dogs, and it's a great time. So I'm a big fan of Fayetteville and the University of Arkansas.
If you ever get out of the studio, make sure you invite me to that. That sounds like it's going to be awesome.
We'll do.
Definitely, man. All right, we'll put it right there. That'll do it for us here on Medill Sports Talk. Be sure to check out our other segments on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Snapchat at Medill Sport Talk. For Robbie and Pat and our entire crew here in Chicago, thank you for watching.